Gypsy, Moses, Donald O'Tullick, or you can just call me Moses. And I'm going to be your deckhand here on the lower deck. Over to my right, we have our forest ranger. She's also going to be your narrator. Her name is Adriana. On top deck, we have another crew member. His name is Dylan. And our captain for today is Captain Barry. Now, before we start heading out here towards Portage Glacier, I do need to go over our safety tips here. So if you're paying attention in front of the boat here, Adriana and Dylan is going to go and demonstrate for you today are very fashionable, very stylish, bright orange, oh bless you, life jacket. So the way you put this life jacket on, you put on like a regular jacket, arms to the armhole. Find and locate your center strap, clasp it on together, come up and tighten it or loosen it. We also have the lower straps and the upper straps. Now those you just tie on just like your shoelace. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Dylan. We also carry on board kids' life jackets as well. They're horseshoe-shaped life jackets, and those should be worn by children weighing 90 pounds or less. If they weigh more than 90 pounds, they do have to put on the adult life jacket. Now where these are located in carpet bins that we have on board. We have 6 of them, and they're down below deck here. We have 3 in the back, and 3 up front. The kids' life jackets are located up on stage here right behind me, underneath the big Alaska map. We also carry on board 4 life rings. We have 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 2 on each level. In case of emergency, we also have 3 life rafts on board. Each life raft will hold 50 people. And they're located on top deck. Now, crew members, such as myself, will deploy the life rafts. When you folks get on life rafts, you come downstairs, go to the back of the boat, get your life jackets on, and go to the 2 metal doors that we have in the back. It's the same way that you enter on board. Now, if you want to review if our safety equipment or safety tips I've gone through here, we also have a bulletin board in the back here over by the port side restrooms, or the left side restrooms here. Or you're going to ask any of our crew members that we have on board today. Now, we're non-smoking crew, so I do like to ask you folks to please refrain from smoking or vaping while on board. Also, you're not really glued to your seats here today. You're welcome to walk around the lower deck here, or go on the top deck at any time you'd like. In order to get on top deck, go straight back in the boat. We have these 2 doors in the back here. That leads to stairs. That goes on top. We also like to ask you folks to please no running, jumping, or climbing on any parts of this vessel here, especially on top deck. Once you get on top, you'll notice that we do have benches on top deck. I do like to ask you folks to please do not stand on the benches. That also includes the rails as well. It is for your safety. On top of that, I'm going to go and turn it over to Adriana, and I hope you folks enjoy.
Alright guys, I'm your ranger today, Adriana. We're in the Chugach National Forest. I'm with the U.S. Forest Service. Welcome. So our forest is actually the 2nd largest forest in America. We sit at about 5.4 million acres. That's about the size of New Jersey. Our sister forest in Alaska, the Tongass National Forest, is the 1st largest. They sit at about 17 million acres. If you take a look out at the water, you'll notice that it has a kind of murky, cloudy appearance. I'm about to tell you why that is. The glacier that we are going to see today, Portage Glacier, as it moves down the mountain, it is carving out the rock. As it carves out that rock, it creates what we call glacial silt, or rock flour. As the glacier melts, that's what leads it into this water and gives it its cloudy appearance. Because it is so fine, it stays suspended in the water. And because of that, we have no plants because the sunlight can't get through. Therefore, we have no fish. If anyone would like to take a touch welcome to. I also have hand sanitizer. The lake that we are currently on is 600 feet deep. And for reference, you could fit the Australian Sydney Opera House under us, or 2 Statues of Liberty, or the Seattle Space Needle. It would actually be about 50 feet deeper if it wasn't for that glacial silt that I mentioned condensed on the bottom. This lake actually feeds into the Turnagain Arm via creeks, and parts of the Turnagain Arm are actually 800 to 1,000 feet deep, but it would be deeper for the same reason if it weren't for that glacial silt packed on the bottom. Those mud flats that you see on your way to Anchorage are made of the same thing, that glacial silt. My narration today can be heard on the bottom and the upper decks, so feel free to move about the boat. As I point things out, I'm going to be pointing them out in the direction of travel. So this is to the left in the direction of travel, and that is to the right in the direction of travel. Feel free to come up to me if you have any questions, or to look at any of the things that we have down here on the upper and lower deck, on the lower deck. Wildlife, be sure to point that out for everyone. This mountain that we're passing on the left in the direction of travel is called Maynard Mountain. It's about 4,137 feet tall, and it holds a tunnel that I think a lot of you might be familiar with. Its official name is the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, but some of you may know it as the Whittier Tunnel. That tunnel is about 2.5 miles long and has a very interesting historical past. It was built in 1943 and only constructed in 1 year. The reason for that speediness was the panic after Pearl Harbor. UC Seward, a city south of here, was the only year-round ice-free port that serviced Central Alaska. So if we lost that port, we would be in very big trouble, because then Central Alaska would be without a lot of services from the mainland. It was originally created to only service trains and military equipment. They opened it up to cars in about the year 2000.
Glacier coming up.
이쪽 사이드는 뭐가 다 높은 것 같은데.
Zoom in on your camera on that helicopter. You think there's someone hanging out the side of the helicopter? I think they're probably looking for someone. There's someone hanging off the edge of it. You see them?
Uh-oh.
They're probably looking, not skiing. They're probably doing somebody could have made a distress call.
Oh wow. Oh, body map.
Wasn't there somebody on the edge? Yeah. You don't see helicopters out there that often.
Portage Glacier,
Usually it's
Portage Valley, Alaska. Riding a cruise ship right now.
We rode a helicopter and landed on a glacier the last time we were in Alaska.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'm happy you were with me today.
Me too.
Raging glacier between the mountains.
Wish the skies were better. 타고 있잖아 이거.
Somebody called me doing it. Not right here. Not right here. But if you're on the top of a mountain, you can make a phone call. Or somebody put out a missing person report that somebody was out hiking in this area. Guys, this is not the place you want to get lost at. Where you buy? I buy some trees and a mountain and ice. Oh yeah, you can.
없는 거죠. 이거 근데 조만간 없어지게
And I
생겼어.
wanted the only guy to go outside on the boat. All the other guys stayed there. They were just being lazy. I said, why would you want to come out and see this every day? I'm going to show you a little video real quick that shows you about perspective, how big things are. So this glacier is a half mile across. So if you look at it like this, I'll show you guys in one section. So this is the ice field on the right hand side. So if I zoomed in, look how small it is.
Wow. Cool.
This beautiful waterfall that we see on our left is actually an avalanche chute. Avalanches are triggered by natural phenomena such as heavy rainfall and earthquakes. And it can also be triggered by humans and animals. Avalanches can reach speeds up to 80 miles per hour, and it takes rocks, trees, and ice with
The
it.
glacier is separated into two sides, the left side and the right side. When we get up there, let's get stuff on the left side first. And it's going to go around the rock. On the right side, that's where we're going to get you guys.
The rock that makes up the sill that is in the mountains is called gray wacky, granite, and quartz.
하늘 아니었다.
gray wacky, and granite.
Right down there.
Yeah,
Okay.
when we get over there.
Right.
I'll tell you when to go over. I'll tell you all this stuff.
Okay, good. I see it.
Both of those rocks are sedimentary rocks. As Portage Glacier comes into view on our right, you can see this dark line running down the middle of the glacier. The sill that I was telling y'all about earlier also exists on top of and on the sides of the glacier. That term is called moraines. It's a fancy French word. That one in the middle is a medial moraine. It occurs when two glaciers are conjoining and rubbing the mountains down together. The buildup of that silt on the sides are called lateral moraines. Over 100 years ago, that glacier used to reach all the way to the end of this lake where we set out, all the way to our visitor center. These markings in the mountain on our left in the direction of travel are called striations. Those are from the glacier.
So what do you think?
It's beautiful.
Chugach
Love it.
National Forest is actually
Like a tunnel under there. Look like a tunnel.
northernmost temperate rainforest.
Looks like a tunnel under there.
Yeah, that glacier's coming down. It's causing friction, so there's
We get about
extra water
100 feet
underneath
of
the glacier,
precipitation in the
and that water has to
mountains
come out
every
somewhere.
year.
So those are
About
the areas where the water's
25%
coming
of
in
that on the
underneath.
ground.
Interesting. Wow.
All that precipitation, in addition to our very mild summers and long lingering winters, makes it the perfect place for glaciers to grow. We have about over 1,000 glaciers in the Chugach. Only 600 are named. And those glaciers form because the old snow from last year doesn't have time to melt before the new snow this year. And over time, all of that snow condenses. Snow has about 90% air. And as it condenses, it turns into firn, which is only about 50% air, until it's finally glacial ice at 10% air. All that snow condensing over a period of time creates glaciers, and the equation that we used for that is about 100 feet of snow over 10 years creates 10 feet of ice.
You camped out the islands. It's iceberg. Got a,
Big iceberg.
it's called a Bermuda. They're smaller icebergs are called a Bermuda.
Not to say that.
So only 10% of the ice is still melting, but 90% is melting. So you're going to see it. You know that phrase, the tip of
because if you think of the UV spectrum, the warmer colors, such as red, orange, yellow, have longer wavelengths. Because of how dense the glacier is, those wavelengths get trapped. Because blue has shorter wavelengths, it's able to escape and be scattered and reach our eyes. Y'all are lucky because that blue is especially vibrant on cloudy days.
Matthew, what's called like a pile of dirt right?
So that's called a moraine. There's 5 fingers. There's 5 fingers that come down. Portage Glacier is my wrist. There's 5 fingers that are basically tributaries. Glacier technically means river at least. So my thumb is up in that left-hand corner. So that's coming down that mountain. And it's taking material from both sides.
This clearing
So that
on our
material you see
left,
right here
in the
is
direction
gonna come
of
up here.
travel,
So when that glacier's coming
is
down,
called
because it's
Portage
merging
Pass.
together. It's kind of like the Mississippi.
That's a hike that you can take from Whittier,
It's the same thing that's happening.
and it was very important to our indigenous people of the Chugach.
That's the additional parts of the glacier.
About 10,000 years ago, when the glacier covered this entire valley, they would use that pass to get from Prince William Sound all the way to Turnagain Arm. It was very important for their fur trading.
Stuff to eat. There you go.
So you guys, in the year 2000, that glacier was to the front of that rock. It's only receded back that far in the last 23 years. That glacier, every single year, it's averaging about 18 to 24 inches advancing daily. So last year it advanced about 500 feet, but it receded to about 520 feet. So a net loss of over 20 feet. In the beginning, how it receded so fast, so quick, it was in 1914 the glacier was all the way to the shore where we got on the boat at. In the beginning, it was receding
So
really, really
when it's
fast.
receding, it's melting.
Yeah. So we can't really see that because of how big it is. But if you use time lapse photography, you can see the glacier due to gravity is coming down. So you think about it, where the main ice field is, way up in the mountains, that's where it gets to 100 feet of snow. And that snow is still adding to this glacier, is still adding material to it. So that's how it's growing, but it's receding and melting. I'm doing it calving, and melting is.
But it's actually moving like that.
Yep, exactly. And so at the very leading edge of it, the front is kind of like shark teeth. So it goes like this, so that pieces come out, click, click, click. The glacier's coming forward. And that, on the right side, that glacier goes really, really deep into the water. We're talking a couple hundred feet. And sometimes it'll even calve on the bottom of it and it shoots to the top. It's called a shooter. But this, all that material out there, that all calved within the last 24 hours. So it's very, very active right now.
You look like some ice float on top of the water, the ice.
Yep, that was all
Yeah.
calved within the last 24 hours. It wasn't there yesterday.
Wow.
But this being a freshwater lake caused by that glacier, if you see those videos like in Glacier Bay, so that's salt water to a freshwater glacier. That salt water is a lot more corrosive to the glacier. Where this water here doesn't make the glacier calve as much as you would in Glacier Bay.
So did you say this glacier used to be back where?
And all where we started at in 1914. And this is what it done in the last 109 years. But right now it's slowed way down. It's almost at a stop. Stopping. It could start growing again too. It all depends on the cooler temperatures like this year. It's been very, very cold. But glaciers are looked at a really, really big spectrum. I always say it's like an accordion. They grow, they shrink, they grow, they shrink. Kind of like this, like a rubber band.